Welcome back to Business English Podcast. You know those
Yeah.
moments when a customer comes at you with a complaint and you kind of freeze up?
Yeah,
Like-
that's the worst.
Yeah. So today we're diving deep into how to handle those situations.
Okay.
Not just handle them, but how to actually turn them into wins.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're dissecting a podcast episode that you send our way.
Okay.
It's called episode 37, How to Handle Customer Complaints Like a Pro. And we're going to pull out the
That's-
most useful tips.
I love it.
We'll cover everything from apologies
Okay.
to cultural differences to the digital age,
How's
the
good?
whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
This is going to be good.
yeah, it's a lot to cover, but
I think we can do it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So one of the things that
Oh,
the episode really stresses is this idea of
yeah.
turning complaints into wins.
That's so interesting because I think a lot of people
Right.
view complaints as a negative thing,
Totally.
not an opportunity.
Yeah, they're like,
Oh.
this is bad.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem.
But actually,
Yeah.
they can be opportunities.
To build stronger relationships.
Exactly.
And increase loyalty.
And even
Yeah.
make things better than they were before.
Absolutely.
The complaint even happened.
Yeah, it's a chance to like wow them.
Totally.
Right.
So the episode talks about something called the magic of professional apologies.
Interesting.
But it's not just about saying, I'm sorry. It's about a specific approach
I see.
that can diffuse the situation
Okay.
and turn things around.
So there's a formula.
Yeah, there's a formula.
Okay.
They call it the AAA technique.
Oh, I love a good technique.
Me too.
Okay, so AAA.
Acknowledge a line.
Okay.
And,
Sure.
okay, so first you acknowledge the issue.
Yeah. Acknowledge the issue
Okay.
and inconvenience that it caused. Then you align yourself with their feelings.
So you're showing that you understand the frustration,
Okay.
and then finally you assure them that you're going to take care of it.
Okay, so it's not enough to just
Right.
apologize.
It's not enough to just say sorry to them that you're going to fix it.
And that you understand how they feel.
Okay.
And the episode also talks about how the delivery of that apology matters.
Okay.
So it's not just the words, but your tone of voice.
Interesting.
So they even give this tip about like a comfort curve.
a comfort curve.
When you start your voice lower on
Okay.
I sincerely rise a little through apologize,
Right.
and then soften on inconvenience.
So it's like you're
Yeah.
really feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds a little theatrical,
It does.
but it's about conveying
right.
genuine empathy,
Yeah.
not just rushing through it.
Okay. I like that.
The episode also mentions a really simple but effective tactic called the empathy bridge.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I love this one.
Okay, tell me about it.
It's so easy.
Mhm.
You just pause after the customer finishes speaking.
Okay.
Just for a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say something like,
Okay.
I understand how disruptive this must be for you.
So you're taking a moment
Yeah.
to acknowledge their feelings
Exactly.
before you jump into problem-solving mode.
Yeah. It shows that you're not just like
Yeah.
processing information.
Mhm.
You're actually trying to get into their head.
You're seeing it from their side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next section of the episode
Okay.
is all about becoming a business detective.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it compares handling complaints to detective work,
Okay.
where you need to figure out the real root of the issue.
So you're not just addressing the surface level?
Right. It's like an iceberg.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what they say,
Yeah.
tip of the iceberg.
Right. The initial complaint is just the tip.
Exactly.
There's a lot more underneath.
Yeah, so much more.
Okay.
So the episode offers some practical techniques for this detective work.
I'm all ears.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
One of them is mirroring and magnifying.
Mirroring and magnifying.
It sounds kind of intimidating,
Yeah. A little bit.
but it's really just about
Okay.
repeating the customer's concern back to them,
Okay.
but in a way that encourages them to explain more.
So you're prompting them to go deeper.
Exactly.
Okay.
And maybe reveal what's really bugging them.
I see. So it's not just parroting back what they said?
No,
Let's-
you're saying it in a way
Yeah.
that invites them to give you more.
Okay. I got it.
They also talk about strategic
Strategic silence.
which might feel awkward,
It can.
but just
Yeah.
giving them a moment
Mhm.
to gather their thoughts
Okay.
can actually lead to them sharing more than they initially intended.
Interesting.
So it's about creating space
Yeah.
for them to express themselves
I like that.
fully.
Yeah.
And then, of course, We need to be listening
Yes.
for those emotional keywords.
Okay, so we're not just listening to the
Yeah.
words they're saying.
Yeah.
But we're listening to
The tone,
the
feeling.
the emotion behind it.
Okay, absolutely.
So, like, what kind of words are we looking for?
Words like frustrated,
Okay.
disappointed,
Hmm.
even betrayed.
Right.
Those could be huge clues
Yeah.
to their emotional state.
So if we can identify those underlying emotions,
Mm-hmm.
we can tailor our response to address those,
Yes.
not just the practical problem.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's about going deeper
Yeah.
than just the surface level of the complaint.
I like it. Welcome back to Business English Podcast. Let's pick up where we left off and dive into the psychology behind customer complaints. It's fascinating how a well-handled complaint can lead to even greater loyalty
Yeah, it's true.
than if the problem had never happened.
It's like those relationships that come out stronger
Mm-hmm.
after going through a tough time. But what's the secret to turning a frustrated customer into like a super fan?
Well, the episode calls it the loyalty loop phenomenon,
Okay.
and it all comes down to the recovery process.
Interesting.
They actually share a story about a customer who had
Okay.
3 consecutive delivery issues.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine the frustration?
I'd be so mad.
You'd think that customer would be ready to
Oh,
jump ship.
totally.
But here's the interesting part.
Okay.
The recovery specialist used a specific approach
Okay.
called the HEART method,
The heart method.
which completely changed the customer's perception.
Okay. I like it.
It stands for hear, empathize, acknowledge, respond, and transform.
Okay. Break that down for me.
All right, so it starts with hearing the customer's full story
Okay.
without interrupting.
Okay.
Then you empathize with their specific pain points,
Mm-hmm.
really showing that you understand the impact of the problem.
So you're not just brushing it off.
No, you're really getting in there.
Okay.
Then you acknowledge responsibility without making excuses.
Taking ownership.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then you respond with a solution that goes above and beyond
Ooh, I like that.
their expectation.
Above and beyond.
And finally,
Yeah.
you transform the whole experience into a moment that builds loyalty.
Okay, so it's like a whole process.
It is a process.
It's not just about fixing the problem,
Right. It's about addressing the emotional impact
the emotional impact.
as well. And in this case, the customer actually ended up more positive about the company
Wow.
than before the problems even started.
That's amazing.
It's like turning a negative into a super positive,
I love that.
right?
So it's about exceeding expectations
Yes.
and turning that frustration into
Mhm.
appreciation.
Absolutely. It's powerful stuff.
Wow.
The episode also talks about something called the expectation reset theory.
Expectation reset theory.
Okay, so basically, when a customer complains,
Mm-hmm.
they're often revealing their deeper expectations
Oh, that's a good point.
for your service.
So it's like they're giving you this window into
Exactly.
what they really want
They're telling you what they value.
and how they want to be treated.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they share an anecdote about a representative
Okay.
who asked a frustrated customer,
Mm-hmm.
what would make you feel truly valued
Oh, wow.
as our customer right now?
That's a good question.
That question completely shifted the conversation from the specific complaint
Right.
to the overall relationship.
It's not about the transaction anymore.
Exactly.
It's about the relationship.
It's about the bigger picture.
Okay.
And that led the representative to adopt what they call the value validation approach,
Value validation approach.
where the focus becomes
Yeah.
restoring the customer's sense of importance,
So making them feel like
Ah.
human.
like they matter,
Yeah.
not just a transaction number.
Right.
Now think about this, the emotional bank account.
Ooh, I like that.
Every interaction, especially during a complaint,
Okay.
either adds to or takes away from. Right.
That sense of trust and goodwill.
So you're either making deposits or withdrawals.
Exactly. You're building up credit.
I like that.
Positive interactions are deposits.
Mm-hmm.
Negative ones are withdrawals.
Okay.
So the episode suggests a trust-building trilogy
Trust building trilogy.
to make those deposits.
Okay. What's that?
Small, immediate wins to show responsiveness.
Okay.
Medium-term commitments to demonstrate dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And long-term investment proposals that build lasting loyalty.
So it's like a long game,
It's a long game.
not just a quick fix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here's a really intriguing idea.
Right.
The ownership transfer protocol.
Ownership transfer protocol.
The idea is that if you can involve the customer
Mm-hmm.
in finding a solution to their own problem,
Okay.
their satisfaction skyrockets.
That makes sense.
It does, right?
When you feel like you've contributed,
Yes.
you're more invested.
They give an example where a representative said, "Your insights are invaluable.
Oh, wow.
Would you help us design a solution?"
Oh, I like that. that would work best for customers like yourself.
So you're turning them from a complainer into a collaborator.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
This is so smart.
It's not us versus them.
Yeah,
It's we're in this together.
we're a team.
Let's solve this.
Okay.
Now, have you ever noticed how you remember experiences
Yeah.
based on the most intense moments and how they end?
The peak and the end.
That's the memory peak-end rule.
Yeah.
Even if there were some bumps along the way,
Uh-huh.
a strong finish
Yeah.
can leave a positive impression overall.
Like a movie with a good ending.
Exactly like a movie.
Okay.
Top performers use this knowledge to create what they call positive resolution cascades.
Positive resolution cascades.
They ensure that every complaint resolution ends
Okay.
with a clear win for the customer,
Mm-hmm.
a future benefit they can look forward to,
I see.
and a personal connection
Yeah.
that makes them feel valued.
So it's about crafting a memorable experience.
Yes.
Even out of a difficult situation.
Even out of a complaint.
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about how we can measure our effectiveness
Right.
in handling customer complaints.
We've got to track our progress.
Yeah, I know metrics might not sound super exciting,
I know.
but it's all about understanding that customer journey
It's about data.
and finding ways to improve.
Exactly. And it's not about number crunching
Right.
for the sake of it.
It's about getting insights.
It's about making things better
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
The episode actually tells a story about a team
Okay,
that was celebrating a 95% resolution rate,
that sounds good.
which sounds amazing.
Yeah, but there's always a but.
There's a but.
Does it?
They realized that while they were resolving complaints quickly,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't preventing them from happening again.
So it's not just about speed.
It's not just about speed.
It's about effectiveness.
It's about long-term solutions.
Okay.
That's why they developed what they call the Triple R tracking system.
Triple R tracking system.
So it focuses on resolution speed.
Okay.
Yes, we want to resolve things quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but also root cause patterns.
Root cause patterns.
Do we see any common threads?
Yeah. Are we seeing the same things pop up over and over?
Exactly. We analyze the data
Okay.
to prevent those complaints in the future.
So we're like detectives again.
We're always detectives.
Looking for clues.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, return customer behavior.
Return customer behavior.
What happens after the resolution?
Yeah. Are they happy?
Do they come back?
Do they tell their friends?
Do they recommend us?
Right.
We need to know.
Okay.
So we're measuring the long-term impact.
Yeah. Are we actually building loyalty?
Exactly. Not just checking boxes.
Okay.
Now, here's a concept that I found particularly interesting.
Okay.
Emotional temperature reading.
Emotional temperature reading.
Okay, so the idea is we should be measuring
Uh-huh.
not just resolution times,
But how the customer is feeling
but the customer's emotional journey
throughout the whole process.
throughout the entire process.
Interesting.
So they talk about a team that implemented something called satisfaction curve mapping,
Satisfaction curve mapping.
where they tracked customer emotions at 5 key stages:
Okay.
initial contact, acknowledgement, solution presentation, implementation, and follow-up.
Okay, so they're really mapping it out.
They're mapping out the emotions.
Wow.
And what they discovered was really surprising.
What was it?
The biggest emotional lift for the customer
Okay.
came during the solution presentation phase,
Interesting.
not when the problem was fully resolved.
So you'd think it would be when it was all done,
You would think, right?
but it's actually when they hear how it can be fixed.
It's when they feel heard and understood,
Ah,
and they see that there's a plan in place.
that makes sense.
It shows that how we present the solution
Yeah.
has a huge impact on the overall experience,
Even more than the actual solution itself.
perhaps even more.
Wow.
So empathy, communication, emotional intelligence.
These are all important.
Those are vital,
And customer service.
just as much as technical skills.
Okay.
Now let's talk about using data
Okay.
to predict future customer behavior
Yeah.
based on how well we handle complaints.
So can we actually predict who's going to stick around
We can try.
based on how we handle their complaint?
The episode calls it the loyalty prediction framework.
Loyalty prediction framework.
Every interaction, especially during a complaint,
Uh-huh.
is an opportunity to build or erode loyalty.
Okay.
So they talk about a team that used
Yeah.
the 3-month echo check.
3-month echo check.
Okay, they followed with customers
Oh, wow.
1, 2, and 3 months
Wow.
after a resolution.
So checking in
Checking in,
down the road.
seeing how things are going.
Okay.
They wanted to gauge the long-term impact
Okay.
of their resolution strategies.
Got it.
were customers still satisfied? Did they encounter any new issues? Were they likely to recommend the company?
So it's about making sure that they're still happy.
Exactly. A month later.
Exactly, not just in the moment.
Okay.
And the results showed that customers who received these proactive follow-ups were far more likely to make additional purchases and stay loyal.
So it proves that staying engaged is important.
It proves the value of the follow-up.
Even after the issue's resolved?
Yes.
Okay. I've always believed that word of mouth is so powerful.
Absolutely.
Both positive and negative.
It can make or break a business.
Right.
The episode calls that the ripple effect metrics.
The ripple effect metric.
The idea that every complaint has a wider impact.
Oh, that's interesting.
Affecting not just the customer who complained,
Right.
but also their network.
Yeah.
Their friends, family, colleagues.
So it can spread.
It can spread like wildfire.
Good or bad.
Good or bad.
Okay.
That's why smart companies track what they call the social impact score.
Social impacts, which measures how resolved complaints influence social media sentiment, referral rates, online reviews.
The whole picture.
The whole picture.
Okay.
So they share a story about a team that found that well-handled complaints actually generated more positive online reviews than typical non-complaint transactions.
That's so interesting.
Turning a complaint around can actually be a form of marketing.
Like the best marketing.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
It's real.
People trust it.
People trust it more.
Okay.
Finally, the episode emphasizes the prevention power index.
Prevention power index.
The idea that the best way to handle complaints is to prevent them in the first place.
Be proactive.
Be proactive, exactly.
Okay.
So they talk about a team that used an early warning system.
Early warning system.
Okay.
Interesting.
To track subtle signals in customer behavior.
So they're looking for those red flags.
They're looking for those little hints.
Before it becomes a big problem.
Before things escalate, they analyzed website traffic, support inquiries, social media, anything that might suggest a brewing issue.
It's like they have a sixth sense.
They're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And by implementing this system, they significantly reduce their complaint volume.
So it works.
It proves that being proactive makes a difference.
I love it.
It creates a smoother, more positive experience.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Now let's move on to the final part of this episode.
Right.
Where we'll talk about those legacy moments.
I'm excited.
And how we can apply all these incredible insights to our own work and lives.
Welcome back to Business English Podcast. It's amazing how much we've covered. From the psychology of customer complaints to the power of data in creating a better experience.
Yeah, it's been a real eye-opener. So now I'm really curious to hear about those legacy moments you mentioned, where complaints are actually transformed into something truly remarkable.
The episode shares this great example about a high-value customer who's facing multiple issues during their peak season.
So the pressure is on.
Talk about pressure, right?
Yeah, this sounds bad.
It could have been a disaster.
Yeah.
But the representative handling the case used everything. The AAA technique, the heart method, the ownership transfer protocol.
They pulled out all the stops.
Everything. And the result was a complete turnaround.
Wow.
Legacy moment.
Okay.
That solidified the relationship and showcased the company's dedication.
To going above and beyond.
To going above and beyond.
It's proof that even the most challenging situations can be turned into wins.
If you have the right approach.
If you have the right mindset.
And the right tools.
And the right tools.
Exactly.
I love how the episode encourages us to actually take action.
Yeah.
And apply these insights to our own lives.
It's not just about listening. It's about doing.
It's about doing.
So they challenge us to pick one technique that resonated with us.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay, and try it out.
In our next interaction.
In your next conversation.
Whether it's the empathy bridge. The heart method. The power of pause.
Any of things.
Any of these tools can make a difference.
Absolutely.
So it's about taking that first step.
Yes.
And seeing what happens.
And you might be surprised at the results.
I think so too.
I have to say, after exploring all these techniques and strategies, I'm actually looking forward to my next customer interaction.
Really?
Even if it involves a complaint.
Wow.
It's not about dreading those conversations anymore. It's about seeing them as opportunities.
To connect.
Learn and create positive outcomes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of sharing and learning,
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
If you have any stories or insights about handling complaints,
Or even just navigating those tricky conversations.
yeah, share them in the comments below. We can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
And who knows, your story might inspire someone else
Yeah,
to turn their next complaint into a moment of excellence.
that's a great point.
Right.
That's it for this episode of Business English Podcast.
That's a wrap.
We covered so much today.
We did.
But this is just the beginning.
The learning never stops.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
And don't forget to like
And share.
and share this episode with your friends and colleagues.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.